Greg Powers, Dave Campbell's Texas Football. I'm out here at Lake Belton High School, joined by Micah Hudson, 5-star wide receiver. Micah, thanks for the time for taking the time for this interview. I got to ask you about that 2022 year, man. I have the fortune of having Texan Live as a subscription, and all y'all's games were on Texan Live, and it just seems like no matter if somebody tried to double team you, triple team you, was finding a way to make plays. Why don't you just kind of recap what that 2022 season was like here at Lake Belton and how you were able to overcome, I guess, being game plan for week in and week out?
Yes, sir. I mean, the coaches really, they got a good game plan for me, moving me around, going to the backfield, playing Wildcat, going to the slot, things like that. Really just effort, just if the defense is in front of me or like I'm getting pressed or something, I just got to be ready to move around and things like that. So I feel like it was both of us playing a part, me athletic wise, and then coach just, giving me a good game plan. And then, I mean, just a team, everybody got along with each other and stuff like that. So, I mean, next year we're going to be pretty good on being player led and stuff like that. But this year we were okay, and I think that's why we lost a few games, but yes, sir.
Got a couple games I know circled probably on your schedule that you did lose last year.
Yes, sir.
But if there's state championship aspirations in Lake Belton, how does Micah Hudson handle that, being a guy that's a team leader now?
Yes, sir. Not panicking, keeping my teammates, self-esteem good and stuff like that, even if they mess up, not getting on to like you can get on to them, but not yelling at them and stuff like that. It's just different people that you have to talk differently to. Some people you can yell at, some people you got to talk to, and just keeping everybody's attitude good and not really, not thinking of it a bit too big, not making it bigger than what it needs to be, so.
You and Selman Bridges on this team have offers flying in all the time. You've got, together around 60 scholarship offers. How do you stay grounded? How do you guys stay humble and be a part of the team like that? Is it something that just maybe people who are, it's bigger to the other people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're very blessed to be in our situation that we are in right now, but we're kids, so we're gonna do kid stuff like play around, play with little kids and things like that. We don't talk about it that much. I mean, unless we're at the college or something like that, but we don't like rubbing it in nobody's face or nothing like that, because you never know what somebody's going through. That can make somebody mad and things like that, and that's just not the way to go about it. So we like to be professional about it, be humble, and congratulate each other on our success.
On the recruiting front, man, I know that it's got to be tough having a lot of scholarship offers and a lot of colleges trying to get you on the phone or get you on their campus. You haven't named a favorites list, so we'd be here a really long time if we talked about everybody on it. So I'm going to pick out some of the schools I feel like I as a reporter should do my job to ask you about. I'm going to start. I feel like I should start here in Texas because you have a special connection to Texas Tech. Why don't you tell us about what that connection is and why the Red Raiders are a school that has a realistic shot at landing you?
Yes, sir. Like Selman said, the coaches, they're very, very genuine, and they keep it real. I mean, I'm sure a lot of coaches anywhere else keep it real too, but it's different there. They got a good culture there. I mean, Patrick Mahomes went there. Michael Crabtree on the Blitnikoff there. And I can see myself doing the same thing there. Just making an impact early, things like that. So I got a good connection with the wide receiver coach, Coach Juice. The recruiting guy, Coach Nance. That's my guy. Coach McGuire, obviously, he coached high school, so he knows how to deal with kids and things like that. He didn't just coach college kids. He knows how to read a kid and how to talk to the kid, not like what makes him tick and what doesn't make him tick and things like that. And I feel like he's very good on mental and just being, all about the kid and just trying to make the kid feel good and feel good about himself.
What was the Texas Tech Junior Day like? I know there was a lot of fanfare about you and Selman going up there for that trip. I guess you guys were the headliners.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was great. Just being there, being able to see, how the coaches are interacting with each other, the kids, the parents, each other. Going to the basketball game, like Selman said, just the crowd there. It's just they were losing, and then they're still supporting their team and things like that. They're not talking bad about their team. They're just trying to lift each other up and things like that. And then everybody's so nice there. looking out for each other, helping hands and things like that. So just being there, being around that stuff is like I'm used to that right now. So I could definitely see myself being there.
We're 5 minutes into this interview, and I can tell you're a guy that likes to keep it straight, shoot it straight. So I'm going to ask you about Texas. And one of the things that, as you was going through this recruiting process, that I think caught a lot of people's attention was that Red River game last year when you kind of sat with your Texas friends, and everybody's saying, Micah Hudson's a Texas lean. I know Texas is a school that's in the mix for you. What do you have to say to people who say, well, Texas is the clear-cut favorite right now? Because talking to you, it doesn't seem like that's necessarily 100% the case.
Yeah, Texas is I've always been a fan of Texas football and things like that. I used to watch Colin Johnson, big receiver. I mean, I used to watch his highlights all the time and when he played and stuff like that. But yeah, Texas is Texas. Texas has the best football, like this area and things like that. And having a good connection with Coach Jackson, the new wide receiver coach that just came from the Jaguars. We're building up that connection. I had a good connection with Coach Marion, and he unfortunately he left. But yeah, Coach Jackson, I'm just building up a good relationship with him so far, and Coach Sark too. Coach Sark, I get on the call with him about every week or so. And he's just checking in on me and stuff like that. He's a good coach. He cares about his players, and he just wants to make sure he has the best interest of his players. And also seeing how he uses different people in the offense like that, Xavier Worthy, he moves him around and stuff like that. And I can also see myself, being moved around. I'm kind of used to it right now, so I feel like I'll be able to adapt to it very well when I get to college.
I know you went up on a visit to see Ohio State and Columbus, and everybody who I talked to from Texas that's been up there says it's a pretty magical place. What did Ohio State do to put their best foot forward with you?
Ohio State, it speaks for itself. Their wide receiver, they're putting guys in the draft in the NFL, just like that. So having a good relationship with Coach Hartline, he keeps everything straightforward, and I'm all about business, so I like being straightforward and things like that. And Coach Day, he's also another coach that really cares about your mental health and things like that. He wants to make sure you're better as a person before you're a football player, and then if you're good as a person, it's going to carry over to you being good as a football player too. And also academically wise, I got to see a lot of things that I wanted to see and things that I'm interested in. I'm interested in graphic design and things like that, and I was able to see how they do that and how they move around and what could be the plan for me when I get there or if I go there and things like that. And, just being around the other coaches as well, defensive coaches, special team coaches, just a staff, just being able to talk to everybody and just have a good time, not having that, put on the act just because I'm there, and just being very, very nice to me, my coaches, texting my family, checking in and things like that. And I feel like Ohio State does a pretty good job with that. And, it just speaks for itself,
One more school I'm going to ask you about, I don't know if you've been on a visit there yet or not, but I think it's one that you probably would like to take a look at, is Alabama. They've also offered your teammate here, Selman Bridges, making a strong push for him. What about the Crimson Tide makes them relevant?
They've always been a great program. They're very disciplined, and Coach Saban's a great coach, and he does a great job of keeping his kids disciplined and things like that, and he also wants to make sure, you're doing good academically wise. And as a person, I talked to him on the phone, and he's telling me they have counseling classes and things like that, just making sure that you're, good all the way around, and not just as a football player, but just making sure that, your body's good, your mental's good, you being able to interact on your interviews and things like that, like different classes like that, and I think that means a lot because some people, they never, did an interview before or something like that. So being able to practice that, and also they've never had like counseling and stuff like that. So being able to have resources like that is a really big deal, and it's really good for those people that never been able to, have things like that. And then the football stuff, I mean, it stands out, it talks for itself. I mean, last year they didn't have the best year that they wanted to have, but they were still going crazy, still, beating teams, still doing what they're usually capable of doing. And I mean, the receivers, that's also wide receiver U to me. I mean, they're putting guys in the draft like just like that over and over and over.
And they're having success.
Exactly. Regenerating them, and like, I don't know, they got like a lab there. So it's just so good, so cool being able to see, their progress and their success, really paying off, and their guys making, a lot of money, and also, having good success in the league, and, just doing their thing and things like that. And I think Alabama is just, it just speaks for itself. It's just one of those programs that's like, oh yeah, that's a program, So
Not talking about schools specifically, how do you see this thing playing out for you? Are you a guy that wants to take it all the way down to the wire to make sure that you're making that right decision, or are you like, oh man, I want to get this recruiting process over with as quick as possible? How do you what's the sense you get how it might play out?
yes, sir. I think it's gonna play out as I'm just gonna take as much time as I can take, really evaluate every school just like they're evaluating me, and just being very eye opening, seeing everything that I can see, seeing the real versus the fake and things like that, and just really taking my time and make sure that I make the best decision for me, my family.
5-star Micah Hudson, man, thanks for the time and good luck with the upcoming season.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.